All right, today we're putting together a real-world survival guide from Mars. And I'm not talking science fiction here. This is the actual blueprint, based on real research for how we could actually live on another planet.
So, picture this. You've just taken your first step onto that red dust. The view is absolutely incredible, but before you can even soak it all in, something is already trying to kill you. And trust me, it's not what you think.
Okay, so your mind probably jumps to the obvious stuff, right? The freezing cold. Average temp is a brutal minus 62 Celsius. Or the fact that the air is pretty much all unbreathable carbon dioxide. But hey, your suit can handle that. Nope, the real killer, it's way more sneaky.
The thing that's going to get you first is completely invisible. It'll pass right through your suit, your habitat, and you, and it's tearing you apart on a microscopic level.
So this is it, the first and most fundamental challenge of staying alive on Mars. A relentless, invisible attack from our very own sun.
900. Get used to that number. So what does that even mean? Well, the scale of this problem it's just staggering.
See, here on Earth, we've got this awesome planetary shield, our atmosphere and magnetic field. Mars, it's got basically nothing. So without that protection, your DNA would get hit with 900 times more damage. We are talking about a constant shower of UVC rays. That's the really nasty stuff, with enough juice to literally shred your DNA. It basically sterilizes the entire surface of the planet.
So, what's the play here? We can't just live in a cave forever, right? And shooting giant lead shields from Earth? Forget about it. Way too expensive. Turns out, the answer is way more elegant. And a lot smaller.
So instead of trying to fight this with brute force, scientists are looking to nature for a much, much smarter solution, one that's been perfected over billions of years. And you know what? The hero of our story isn't some fancy high-tech material. It's this incredibly humble little organism that's been hanging out on Earth forever, Cyanobacteria. These tiny powerhouses already solved the UV radiation problem a long, long time ago. So these little guys produce this amazing stuff called Scytonemin. Honestly, just think of it like a biological super-sunscreen. It's a pigment that's just fantastic at soaking up the entire spectrum of UV light, basically wrapping the organism in this protective layer that just shrugs off all that deadly energy. And look, this isn't just some wild theory. The research actually confirms it. The paper basically says that Scytonemin is a perfect candidate for protecting not just us humans, but also all the plants and other critical life we'd need for a Mars colony. It's a living shield we could grow right there. Okay. So we've got a potential shield against all that nasty radiation. Great. But, you know, a shield isn't going to fill your stomach. Which brings us to the next massive problem. What's for dinner?
I mean, seriously, we can't just keep shipping food from Earth. That's not going to work long term. To survive, you have to become a Martian farmer. But what do you even grow? You can't just throw some seeds in the ground.
So here's a little sneak peek at the menu. Yeah, get ready to eat a lot of sweet potatoes. Why? Because they are an absolute caloric powerhouse. You get more food energy out of them per square meter than almost anything else. They were picked, along with things like rice and beans, for one reason: maximum bang for your buck in a super-controlled environment. And this is where you'd grow it all. Now, this isn't some artist's daydream. This is a real thing. It's the Lunar greenhouse prototype. It's where researchers are literally figuring out the nuts and bolts of how to build a farm on another planet. Okay, so we've got a shield, we've got a menu, we're all set, right? Well, not quite. Just growing plants isn't going to cut it. For a colony to last for decades, the entire system, and I mean everything, has to work in perfect, self-sustaining harmony. And this is what that harmony looks like. A Mars base has to be the ultimate recycling system. I mean, everything gets reused. The CO2 you breathe out, that's plant food. The water you use gets purified and used again and again. Nothing, absolutely nothing goes to waste. It's all one giant living machine. But here's the kicker. You can build this perfect, beautiful biological system, a total marvel of science, and it could still completely fail. And the reason why has nothing to do with biology or engineering. It all comes down to money. It turns out long-term survival is an economic problem too. That's why researchers are building these incredibly complex models. They're basically building the ultimate SimCity, Mars edition. They're modeling everything, from the cost of mining water ice to the price a colonist pays for that water, to make sure the colony can actually afford to survive. All right, so let's put this all together. What have we actually learned here?
Surviving on Mars isn't about finding one magic bullet. It's about weaving together solutions from totally different fields, biology, engineering, economics, into one single master plan.
The blueprint is really a three-part recipe. Step 1, you shield all life with nature's own super-sunscreen. Step 2, you grow your food in a meticulously planned, closed-loop farm. And Step 3, you calculate the economics of the whole thing to make sure it doesn't go broke.
And this right here is the most important part. That shield, the farm, the economic model, they're not separate solutions. They're all gears in a single, interconnected machine. The biology relies on the engineering, which relies on the economics. If any single piece fails, the whole thing comes crashing down.
Little by little, scientists are turning all that science fiction into an actual workable blueprint. The challenges are enormous, no doubt, but for the first time in history, we have a clear, data-driven path to actually becoming a multiplanetary species. The blueprint is being written. The real question now is, are we ready?
Hey, if you enjoyed this little trip to Mars and want to see more explainers that break down huge ideas like this, do us a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks for watching.